square root of both sides. It's kind of a case 1, case 2, but there's nothing to do. It just is the plus or minus the square root of 5. So
Yeah.
x equals plus or minus square root of 5. And that's it. There's nothing more to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I don't know why the instructors are alluding to this to rationalize your denominator. Maybe that's a copy and paste from another problem that does require that.
Yeah.
Let me give you.
What does that even mean? Like,
yeah, so here's what it
same
means.
with like working with fractions.
Let's say your answer was something like the square root of 4 over 3, like this.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the square root of 4, but you cannot take the square root of 3. So the square root of 4 is 2. And this is where you need to rationalize your denominator.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
And we can talk about that. So we like what to do here. The simple answer is you multiply the top and bottom by the square root of whatever is on the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
So this becomes 2 square root of 3 over the square root of 9. What is the square root of 9?
3.
This becomes 2 over 3 square root of 3. Again, I'm not sure why it's asking you to do that, because you don't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to this problem, but there could be a problem where it does make sense. Kind of makes sense in part B. So let's look at this one.
Yeah.
2x squared. Let me just make one up. Minus 49 equals 0. Okay. So let's say I asked you to solve this. Okay. So you would first add 49 to both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
2x squared equals 49, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you would divide by 2.
Yeah. Okay.
But notice that
doesn't go into it.
Yeah, you're left with this fraction, and you know that you're going to have to take a square root of both sides. So you take a square root of x squared, that's fine, plus or minus square root of 49 over 2. And this is where you can break it apart. It becomes the square root of 49 over the square root of 2.
Yeah.
So this is plus or minus 7 over the square root of 2. This is where we need to rationalize.
And when you rationalize, you just change the denominator.
You multiply the top and bottom by the square root of the bottom.
Okay.
So we'll do a few examples of this. So
and we don't have to rationalize on part B though, right?
Well, I switched up part B. I gave it a different I switched it because I don't think it's clear what to do. So this becomes 7 square root of 2 over the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4?
2.
This is 7 square root of 2 over 2.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's try another one here. Or actually, let me have you try some rationalizing, because I don't think that that's completely clear. It's a little sub piece. So let's say the answer is 4 over the square root of 3. What would you multiply the top and bottom by?
3.
Not 3.
Square 3.
Square root of 3. In the numerator, it becomes 4 square root of 3. There's nothing to do there. What about in the bottom?
Would it? I'm not really sure.
So this becomes the square root of 9. Why is it 9 on the bottom?
Because 3 times 3.
Okay. And do you know the square root of 9?
3.
Very good. Okay. Now you can only combine the numbers in front. You can't combine inside the square root.
Okay.
Okay. So here's one for you to look at. What should you multiply the top and bottom by?
Square root of 2.
Okay.
8 and square root of 2 and 4.
Square root of 4. What is the square root of 4?
2.
Now here you can actually divide 8 divided by 2, that becomes 4 square root
2.
2.
Okay.
Let's try another one here. Let's go, let's have you go 10 over the square root of 5. Why don't you try this one on your own, please?
Okay. It would be 10 square root of 5 and square root of 25.
Okay, but what is the square root of 25?
5.
Okay, so does that allow you to reduce anything?
Yeah, it does. So let me finish this. And then 7, 2. Oh, no, yeah. So 2 square root of 5.
Very good. Okay. What else? So leave it at that. All right, let's go to part B.
Okay.
It says to first list the transformations of 2x squared minus 3. So there are 2 transformations. Can you tell me either of them?
Yeah. I think I know 3 goes. Ooh, actually, I'm not sure.
Down 3
Down 3. Okay.
because it's
And then,
outside. It's away from the x. Okay.
okay. And then 2 is just gonna go up.
It's a vertical stretch of 2, or by a factor of 2.
Okay.
All right, let's do the y-intercept next.
Okay.
The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. It's where x equals 0.
Yeah.
You put 0 in for x, boom. So that's 2 times 0 squared minus 3.
Yeah. Okay.
You're putting 0 in for x.
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
See the x up here, 2x squared minus 3, you're putting 0 in for that x.
oh, okay. So
X
it
is
would
0.
just become -3.
Good. And that helps you to graph it. That's probably the reason they're having you do this.
0.0 and -3, and then yeah, down 3, and then vertical stretch of 2.
Yes, yes, all that's really good. Basically, you got to go down here, and then it's going to come up, and 0, -3. Boom, got it. Any questions on that? Before we move on to part C.
No.
Okay, so part C says to go to the graph and label g of x equals 7. What that really is y equals 7. Think of it as y equals 7. So it's a line where y is 7.
Yeah.
Now here's the equation that you're solving. It should look really familiar. 2x squared minus 3 equals 7. We started out by solving this equation. So let's solve it again. What's the first thing you do to solve this equation?
You add 3.
Add 3 to both sides.
Yeah.
So 2x squared equals 10. What's the next thing to do?
Then you divide 2 by 2.
Okay, so
And you
x
get
squared equals 5.
equals 5.
Can you take the square root of 5?
Yeah. Or no, sorry.
It's not a perfect square. We
Yeah,
don't know what
sorry.
it is for square root, but we can write it. We can put it down. So that's what they're asking for in part D. They're asking you to go to the graph and put this x plus. So this one is positive square root of 5, comma
Yeah.
7, and this other one is minus square root of 5, comma 7.
Yeah.
They're asking you to label those points.
Okay.
All right, you ready to do another one?
Yeah, we could do another one, sorry.
All right. How's your brother? I haven't done any lessons with him in a while.
He's doing good, yeah, he's doing good in math.
That's great. It's awesome. Let's say f of x is 3x squared plus 1. Can you tell me the two transformations of this, please?
The first transformation is 1 goes up,
So up 1, that actually comes second.
yeah. And then vertical stretch of 3.
Okay, good. Now let's do the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. Can you give me the coordinates of the y-intercept?
0 and -3.
Try again. You're putting 0 in for x.
Okay, wait. I'm confused on how to get the last number.
So you're putting 0 in for x. So 3 times 0 squared plus 1.
Oh,
Wherever you see an x, you
1,
put it.
sorry.
Yes.
1,
Good.
0, 1.
Okay, so here's the graph of this thing.
Yeah.
All right. How do we want to do this next? We want to now graph. Sorry, just trying to get a number here in my head that works. G of x equals 19. Okay, so that's a horizontal line at 19.
Okay.
It's not to scale. Oh well, you know. Now the last part is to figure out where this 3x squared plus 1 equals 19. So I'm gonna write that down below. We'll come back and graph it. 3x squared plus 1 equals 19.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we solve this for x? What's the first thing to undo? The
You just
multiplication or the
subtract
addition?
1.
Good. What
And
else?
then you divide by 3, but
Okay, so what is the result of that?
it doesn't go in smoothly.
This one does.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
6.
6, good.
Okay.
Now what? What's
And then you square it.
you square root both sides?
Yeah, both of it.
Yes. Okay, so the square root of x squared, that knocks it out. Plus or minus though, square root of 6. Do you know the square root of 6?
Yeah, 2.
No.
Or no, 3.
Nope. 2 times 2 is
5.
4. 3
2.5.
times 3 is 9. Nope. It's not. If it's not a whole number, you don't know it.
Okay.
It's got to be perfect.
Okay, so
You sure?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, on the graph here, if we go back to our graph, this one on the right is the square root of 6, comma 19.
Yeah.
Okay. And the one on the left is minus square root of 6, comma 19.
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
Not really. No.
Let's do
And what?
another one.
Well, actually, yeah, I do have one.
Okay.
Why does like the line go down to that point? Like not
The
like
quad.
up, like down, like because it makes a U.
Yeah, the quadratic, the x squared always makes a u. It's U
And how do you
shaped.
know like if you go to the origin or you like go up one?
You just found it. The
Oh,
y-intercept.
oh, I see. Okay, and it reflects. Oh, that's what the reflection thing. Okay, I was a little confused on that.
All right, let's do another one here. Make this one a little harder. Let's go f of x equals minus x squared plus 3. So this has two transformations. Can you give me either of them?
Yeah.
Okay, standing by.
Okay. First one is up 3.
That's the second one.
Second one. And the first one, I'm not really sure on.
So you said it, you just said it.
Zero.
This negative is a reflection
-0.
over
Okay.
the x-axis. So
Okay.
instead of it opening up, it flips down.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is to find the y-intercept. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. Would it be 0, +3?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we go to our graph, 0, +3, it opens down because it's a reflection over the x-axis, so it looks something like this.
Yeah.
All right, now let's let g of x equal -4. Do
Yeah.
you see how this is a line y equals -4?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. We're gonna set f of x equal to g of x. We're gonna write minus x squared plus 3 equals -4.
Yeah.
So let's do that here. We want to solve for x. Should we undo the multiplication by -1 or the addition by 3?
Well, you always do addition and subtraction first, right? So
Very good. Yeah.
exactly.
There was a time when you would give me the wrong answer. That's
Yeah,
why I
I
keep asking.
know.
And
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're
Yeah.
that part's over. Now, what do we do next? There's that -1 out in front that's multiplying.
Then you just divide by -1,
Good.
and then you just get x2 -7.
Okay, so how do you solve from here?
Then you find the y-intercept.
Nope, we already did that.
Oh, you square it. Sorry.
Square root,
You square it. Both of them.
square root it. Plus or minus square root of
7. Yeah.
7. Do you know the square root of 7?
There is none, right?
That's right. So you go back to your graph here. The one on the right is positive square root of 7, comma -4. And the one on the left is minus square root of 7, -4. If you notice in all the graphs we've done, it's always positive square root, that y value, negative square root, and that y value.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's try. I think we got time
And the
for one more.
y-intercept's always the point that's kind of like down, like that makes the U shape.
In this examples, yeah, it
Yeah,
seems to
okay,
be.
that's what I was saying. Okay.
Okay, let's say f of x is 5x squared minus 9. Can you give me the two transformations, please?
Yeah. It goes down 9, and then it has a vertical shift 5.
Stretch.
Sorry. Vertical stretch of 5.
Okay, now can you give me the y-intercept?
What? Oh, sorry, my mom watching.
Y-intercept.
Oh, the y-intercept. The y-intercept would be 0, -9.
Okay, does this graph open up or down?
Down,
How do you know that?
because it's -9.
That's just down 5. So if it's positive in front of the x squared, it's up.
Yeah.
So let's go back and look at a couple of those just to make sure you see that. 3x squared, see how it opens up?
Oh, okay.
your original problem was a 2x squared. See how it opens up? Okay, so if the number in front of x squared is positive, it opens up. So this one's down here like this. This is 0, comma -9, right? Now let's let g of x equal 16. So let's say that's 16 right there. I want you to solve 5x squared minus 9 equals 16.
Yeah. So you add 9 first. And
Yeah.
then
Yep. Keep going.
5x minus, or no, 5x equals 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. And then you divide by 5 and get x squared equals 5. Then you square both of them. You get x plus or minus x squared plus or minus 5. X plus or minus 5.
Plus or minus square root of 5. Hopefully you're
Square
writing
root of
that.
5.
That's
Then you
simple.
get it. Yeah, then you get your y-intercept. Right?
Okay. We already have the y-intercept. So
Oh,
the whole point of this was to get those 2 points. Square root of 5, comma, what's the y value here?
It is 16.
Okay, and then minus square root of 5, 16.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you got this down, I think you're in good shape. Try to, I don't know, we got another lesson tomorrow night, so we can just keep going on this, but
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
try these examples that are very similar to what's on your page. But that is it. We're going to stop right here.